Begin Within Ministries proudly presents Sofa Sundays with your hosts, Michelle Ezugwu and Reverend Jeannie Sobrins. Sundays at 11:11 a.m. Arizona time. And rebroadcast on Mondays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Come join us on the sofa every Sunday. Sofa Sundays with Michelle and Jeannie. Learn more at www.beginwithinministries.com. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.
Okay.
We're unmuted.
Are we? Good morning. Welcome.
Check out that new logo on there.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
You guys see our new logo?
Oh my goodness. What the heck?
Stop the presses.
Good morning.
Stop
Stop the
it right now.
presses. Oh my
Reverend Dr.
goodness.
Michelle Whittington just
In
raised
the
us with
house.
our presents. Your presents.
All right.
Oh,
So,
goodness. Should we, I don't know if I can focus now.
right.
Michelle's here.
So we need to give a shout out that our mentor's here. So hi Michelle. Woo. The other thing we wanted to point out in the world, look, I didn't have to dye my hair red. Thank you, Jake. Kleinman Phillips of Touch Point Designs for prioritizing our logo, but also changing Michelle's hair to brown so that the girls on the sofa,
Match the women on the sofa.
yes, match the women on the sofa, no, just because, we have stickers and books and cups and
Everything
else with a redhead. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Don't look at that.
Don't look
It's
at the
fine.
redheads.
It's fine.
Oh my
I have
goodness.
evolved, and I'll explain why.
Oh, you're going to
Later.
explain why?
I'll
later?
explain why
I
with the
love
topic of today.
that.
I know I just literally had this little revelation.
You had the
about it.
revelation now.
Yeah.
So happy June, happy Pride, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And I just read this amazing thing that I loved, and all the furtherers, right? That the masculine energy is brought forth to further our development. That's what fathers do, right? So I wanted to say happy Further Day as well. I liked that. I liked it a lot. Sorry.
I love it.
She
You're
can't
so
help
cute.
herself.
You're
Thank
so
you.
cute.
Thank you very
I like
much.
that idea, though. I do agree with that.
About furthering? Yes.
Masculine energy is super important, and we're going to get into that later. But I
Yes.
like that thought about how they further
Right.
things forward. Yes, I
So
agree.
speaking of where we're at, where were we?
Well, if you are not here in person, we want you to know that you could be in person. Because we are
The
online, but we are definitely in the home of the famous
famous, the
World-renowned.
infamous,
Yes.
no, famous
and world
No.
renowned.
and world-renowned.
Yes.
That
Glo-
is true.
Global explorer,
She is
the
a global
Reverend
explorer.
Dr. Michelle Whittington, who today is in the house.
in
So
the house.
if you would have been here, you could have seen her. But
Right? But no,
No,
you chose to stay in your pajamas and be at home.
No, which we appreciate. So it's
We
just
always
fun. We
appreciate
love it. We love it. Now watch, everybody's going to start flooding. in
Right,
here.
there you go. So in case you do want to be here in person,
Yeah.
we are located at 7220 North 16th Street. That is between Glendale and Northern. We are in building A1. That is not a steak sauce. You will know where we're located at because the redhead will be on the door.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
Those girls aren't dark.
And so we invite you to join us here live every Sunday. But for those who can't get here, we are so appreciative that you join us on Zoom. On Zoom?
On Zoom.
No, YouTube.
YouTube and Instagram.
Yes.
And this is the home of Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington's practice. So
Yes.
she does her classes here. And you're in the best year yet?
I'm in the best year yet,
Which ones are you?
which is a 1 year long, obviously, workshop, group, coaching, to be able to, again, live the life you love. Why we're in this space and on the sofa, the whole goal of life is to have a life you love living, that you don't need to take a vacation
That's why
from.
we're here. Yeah.
And best year yet, helps you develop that time period and set those desires, those goals, mapping them out on what you want to experience in your life. So we're halfway through, and I am probably 3/4 away through my heart map goals, and it's been an amazing practice.
Nice.
There's also Tuesday and Wednesday night classes that are women's group that develop camaraderie and connection, and that is called P3. That is presence, power, and possibilities. I was going to say practice. Yeah, I knew they stood for something.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we're wanting you to know is that there's a lot going on here.
There is
in
a
this
lot
space.
going
She
on.
generously donates the space to us. She doesn't ask us to do a plug. She hates when we do it, but we do it anyway.
But we do it.
because we
every
appreciate getting to use this beautiful space for our ministry, that she supports our ministry, but she supports everybody else too through her classes. And if you're interested, you can go to unleashyourlife.us, which is where she'll give you that information.
And just one more thing about that. This is also an awesome space that you can rent, and it is an affordable rental space.
Oh, gosh,
so
good.
please go to unleashyourlife.us and check it out.
Check it out. Yeah. All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
I know. She's like, you don't have to do that. They're like, yes,
Yes, we
we do.
do.
We want to.
We
We
are.
appreciate it. Yeah.
I love this. I love this space because of the energy that is
Mhm.
created here with
Right,
different people
right, yeah,
and different
for
time
sure.
periods.
And of course, my husband's in the house. I just.
Oh yes.
Happy.
Yes,
No, stop.
Mr. E's in the house.
Mr. E's in the house. Yes. And then of course we got Evie and Barbara and Tara, and then of course we got
Our divine,
our divine lyric.
both
Davis in the house.
tech and resident artist.
Yes, and she's our resident artist.
Yes.
So we have a great house.
All right.
So I think we're ready to move into our topic today, which is I'm expressing
Well,
the
will you
divine
Will you pray us? Will you let me pray
masculine
us
in my
in?
life. Yes, that's
All
what I'm
right.
thinking.
All right.
Then you're digging the bell.
No, I'm
Oh,
gonna
you're
pray
the
us in.
president. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
you ding.
Okay.
So just in this amazing space that is God, that is the divine, that is the oneness, that is us. This presence, this power, this peace, this possibility that is the field of infinite possibilities and knowingness. That I speak my word into the law for the highest and best good of this time together, that we feel, embrace, and accept what is ours to have and to hold and to embrace and embody, knowing that each and every one of us, as we wish, are open to receive. I speak my word for the highest and best of leaders and teachers of all faiths everywhere, that they are blessed in each and everything that they do for their communities to create peace and love and joy throughout this world. And that this connection that is individualized and globally organized and recognized, that's the unity of the oneness of the divine. I am so grateful. I'm grateful for this time. I'm grateful for this space, and I'm grateful for each and every individualized presence that is here. For this, I say thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you, universe. I let it go. I call it good. And together we say, and so it is.
Good job.
All right. Woohoo! So this is not us. Who am I watching
I
here?
know, but I think our live feed is going well.
Yeah, our live feed is on. I don't know how my
Yep, it's good.
I don't know how my phone decided to watch Global Truth, but it did. So that happens sometimes. Sometimes your phone has a mind of its own,
It does. Oh my
and then it
gosh.
orders outfits.
At
least that's what-
you.
At least that's what I tell my partner. It
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, that's right. All right, so you should all have your card. Hi, Carolyn. Nice to see
Hi.
you. You should all have your card with you, and the topic today is I'm expressing the divine masculine in my life.
That's why we had to have the divine man in the house today.
We did.
Yeah,
He didn't even know that,
he didn't even know.
but I appreciate him being here. We need that masculine.
I have a reading.
I love when you do.
I know.
Father's Day reading.
I have a Father's Day reading for everyone. So for those who are following along at home or in the room, This is from affiliated New Thought Network's New Thoughts for Today. And this is on page 201, Father's Day. God provides the wind, but man must raise the sails, St. Augustine. Father's Day is a day in which we honor the divine masculine. In metaphysics, we teach that all people have both divine masculine and divine feminine qualities within them. The divine masculine is part of us that we often refer to as the action part of us. How does the divine masculine manifest in your life? For me, it is the part of me that feels the still small voice guiding me in one direction or another. When I take an action step towards the fulfillment of an idea or a dream, I am expressing the divine masculine in my life. Many years ago, I wanted a job in which I felt I could use my skills and training. I prayed about it, and then one day, out of the blue, I love out of the blue, I was asked to submit my resume to a local hospice agency. I was grateful for this request and turned in my resume and promptly went back to my work. A year later,
God takes time.
right? There is no time in God.
I know.
A year later, I got a call from the Human Resource Department of this agency requesting an interview. After the interview, I found out I got the job and was so excited. I had to take the action step of submitting my resume and then trusting that all was unfolding in divine timing and for my highest and best good. Wow. Let me read that one more time because I need to hear it.
Yeah, me too.
I had to take the action step of submitting my resume and then trusting that all was unfolding in divine timing and for my highest and best good. Today, I listen to the still small voice within and then act from this sacred space. All is always unfolding for my highest and best good. Reverend Donna Baronier, Religious Science, Cypress, California.
Yeah, I think we all need to hear that
Yeah.
several times over, right? Because
Right?
we take that action and I like immediate.
Well, I can take action without listening to the still small
That
voice.
too.
That's
That's
you
the
know.
other one.
I'm always shocked as you are on what I do. I'm amazed what comes out of my mouth just like you. So, listening to the still small voice, wow. So she attributed that to the divine masculine.
Yes.
I go to the divine feminine on that, but the key word there is the divine, right? Whatever you're connecting into as your power center, that's the key on where we listen, right? So that action, yes, I would associate action or forward, furthering, fathering motion. to
Right.
the divine
Technically,
masculine.
action, the giving in is from the masculine.
Mhm.
Technically, right, and then the receiving, sending back is the feminine. Right.
And we didn't make that up. So I just want you to know, like, that isn't something that just came about because we felt like it on Father's Day.
Do you think they just believe whatever we say up here?
Sometimes, right?
It's nice.
Isn't everything you hear online true?
Oh my gosh, we were just talking about that. How people are just not
Right?
thinking for themselves or just following around.
Right.
along. Like
And okay, so now I'm going to do a little side tangent on that.
Go.
Right? So Ernest Holmes, our founder, talks about that. Like, don't believe everything you read
Right.
or what he says
just
or what
because he said,
anybody
right.
says just because it was said. Do your own research. Right? Make that happen.
Yes.
Make that happen for yourself. Do that experiment. See if that's the truth in your
Right.
life or not.
Right. Don't just follow around
Because I said it.
or it was online or on your
Yeah.
Facebook feed or whatever. That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Check that. Yeah.
Right. Check it out. So I was thinking, okay, what
You knew
about
that was
the
gonna
divine?
come up? Huh?
I was actually looking at divine masculine, and a lot of prayers in New Thought pray to Father, Mother, God. Right? You'll hear people say that, so that there is that balance and that
Mhm. The recognition
Unity.
that there's both.
there's both.
Yeah, right.
But here in the glossary of the Science of Mind, we talk about the masculine principle, the assertive principle of being, the self-conscious, the self-propelling power of spirit, the projective principle of life, kind of like this one. Impregnating the universal soul with its ideas and concepts.
Wow.
The
Okay.
self-assertive spirit in either God or man. The
Self-assertive.
self-assertive spirit.
Mhm.
Yes.
The action.
The action.
The step forward, yeah.
Right. So I just, wanted to give
That little
that.
fluster with you.
I said the impregnating.
Like,
What did that?
I was like, oh. If Ernest said it, I guess.
Right? If Ernest said it. Now, what did we just talk about? Not everything. Right.
No, but yeah, I mean, this topic comes up a lot, the masculine and the feminine. And I was just telling you earlier, I wonder, I haven't talked to Michelle about this, but even my husband and I talk about how the feminine isn't present without masculine. Like there needs to be that masculine energy, the giving in so that the receiving can happen.
Mhm.
Right? And that's something that I've recognized, even changing my hair color. We're talking about like my hair color
Yes.
is different. Like, why did that happen?
Please
I was
tell
gonna
us.
you the revelation I had with Peter this week. Literally this week, we were talking about stuff, and something he had said made me realize what was the shift that caused me to change my hair color after being a redhead literally my whole life.
Mhm.
I think it started getting darker when I was in high school, and then I did things to lighten it back up because it started to get a little bit deeper color, but it was always red. And for some reason last year, I started having this feeling like when I saw myself in pictures, that didn't resonate with me. It actually, I was very uncomfortable with the color of my hair, what I looked like, and I was like, what's my problem, And then I started having this longing to color my hair. And I've had it this color once before by mistake because a new hairdresser accidentally colored my hair dark. And I remember when she did that, I was very upset because it was not red. And I don't know how she missed that. I mean, I came in as a redhead. I explained to her that I wanted to be like this is what I would say. I want to be the color of a copper penny. That's that's red, right? So doesn't that sound like red to everybody in this room?
Yeah.
And she still went dark on me. And I remember she
You
was
should
gonna
have said
fix
a
it.
new copper
I
penny.
guess so. She was gonna fix it the next day. She couldn't fix it then, but I was gonna come back the next day. So I had 24 hours of my hair, and I was going to the Heart Ball that night, so I had a big event that I had to show up with my hair like this and whatever. And I remember getting ready and looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, I kind of liked it, but I was like, no, I'm a redhead. No. And I have a picture from the Heart Ball of me with my hair like that. So I kept it in case I ever felt like I actually did want something darker, that I had something that I liked. So I've always had that since all these years. And last year I started feeling this urge to be darker, but I had this problem with that because I've always been this redhead. Everybody knows me as a redhead. Our logo's got a redhead, everything about everything. And it's funny because he said to me when we were got engaged and we started talking about our wedding, he said, you should dye your hair darker for the wedding. Oh, what? What? What do you mean? You don't want me to be a redhead for the wedding? Of course I should be a redhead for the wedding. That's like those pictures will last forever. My head's going all the way over here with that comment. I didn't say that to him, but ran over here. And then I thought, wait, you wouldn't be upset if I wasn't a redhead anymore? He goes, no, I think you would look really good as a redhead. I think it would soften my feet. I think it would do this and this. And I thought, because I've been feeling like I kind of want to do that. And I thought you wouldn't like that, or I thought nobody would accept that. That would be weird for me to do that. That it would be okay if I did that, no big deal. And he's like, no, I think it would really actually be whatever. So now that I've done that, and I've been living with it now since, when did I do that? In January or February or something like that. Every time I see a picture, I see myself now, it's like, that's me, that's me, that's me. And we were talking about this yesterday or the day before, and I had this revelation that it's because I'm in my feminine.
Mm.
Somewhere last year, I started to be able to be in this feminine space because he's definitely in a masculine space with me. And I've been able to and when he said, I think it makes he said again yesterday, your hair looks so good. I just really feel like it's softened. And the word soften made me realize that, oh my gosh, because I've been able to soften and be in this space of softness that I no longer needed to be in this sharpness of the redhead that was so much more aggressive. And I didn't need to, I wasn't embodying that anymore. And so suddenly it felt really uncomfortable to be in it.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden now I feel really comfortable like this. And it's the softening of being able to just be soft in me.
Wow.
It's so weird. I hadn't even realized that that's what was happening to me. But even saying I'm embracing the divine masculine in my life, I don't know that that necessarily means embracing it in myself. It's in my life around me has allowed me to be more in the feminine, which is where I feel most comfortable. But I don't know that I've been allowed to be in that space for very long. And obviously for not a long part of my, not most of my life, obviously, if I've always felt like I've needed to be this aggressive, strong redhead that comes in a room and I can power a room and I've got this whole, now I don't feel like I need any of that. Like all of that's just melted off me. And I know that it's because of the masculine presence that I've embraced in my life.
So that's amazing. When we were talking a little bit about that beforehand, we get here early so we can gossip. And, one of the most amazing aspects of the divine masculine and the divine feminine is that there is that balance, like you were saying. Like, so you were able to come into your feminine because of the, flow and, the receiving, because there's the divine masculine in your life.
Right.
I think one of the hardest things is when we have the toxic feminine and the toxic masculine vying for attention, either in our lives, in our situations, relationships and work and just life in general, or within ourselves. There was a lot of times that, I was talking about earlier how when I was first learning about New Thought, I knew it all, right? Like, and I am a very good, proselytizing person. I want you to know what I know when I know it, and I'm so in your face about, or I was so in your face about the things I was learning and how that was right. I did not get to the point where it said to calm the hell down. Okay.
She missed that chapter.
I missed the chapter on that. And in that, I really did live a long time in like a toxic masculine energy, which to me is the person who's always right, always in your face, and aggressive versus an assertive, giving or,
or
pushing. And that is not, I don't think, where anybody wants to be.
Right. That's not the divine masculine.
No. The divine masculine, when I think of this, expressing the divine masculine in my life, I think of that perfect placement of moving forward, like what Reverend Dr. Donna was talking about with that, do the action, give the resume, do the footwork, and then the feminine part is the allowing. Right. So having that balance there, but the action part is important, right?
And it comes first.
Exactly. You can't allow until there's action. Right. Allowing without the action is, avoiding. Which I'm good at that too. I mean, like all the A's.
You own that one too.
Yeah, I own that one too. The action part is very important to move forward with. And when we were talking about, the still small voice, that inner voice of knowing, there is a point on that which says you have to tune in. Like you have to get connected, right? And whether you're in your male energy or in your feminine energy on that, either way, we are talking about the power center of getting connected.
Being present. So being present, which is what we've been talking about all week.
Right.
Being present. Right.
In this moment.
Yes, in the present.
There's
moment.
nothing bad happening right here, right now.
Right.
I mean, unless you're hot. But other than that,
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing bad happening right here, right now.
Right.
So if we are always operating out of the present, out of the right here, right now, we're not dealing with something that is to be.
That may never be.
That may never be. And so I'm going to give you a little like, I don't know what you call it, a little spoiler alert. Even when you get to the to be, you're in the present moment. Nothing's happening there either. Just, you're there.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
It's okay to be there.
Yeah.
It's okay to sit there. You know, but when you, as in the feminine, it's that when you get the hit, like the next move or the next action space from the present moment, and then you make the move that you're supposed to make, and then you wait, you sit in the waiting. That's the receiving part. That's the, you know, that's a lesson in itself sometimes.
Oh my goodness, yes. Could you imagine waiting a year?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not a good waiter.
I'm not a good waiter either.
Yeah, it's like my
Yeah.
limit. It's like beyond my limits.
A year is
I want
beyond
stuff
your
now.
limit.
Yeah,
I know.
What's happening right now.
We were just talking about that.
I know. Did you all know that she just finished her master's?
Just finished. Like as in yesterday.
And I said, and your doctorate this year? Yes. She's like, calm down.
It's like,
She's
no,
calm
it's gonna be a
down.
minute. It's gonna be a
Calm down.
minute. And I love that.
No, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're so good at that. Just learning and setting your goals and making them happen. You're just, yeah. There you go. You're taking those actions.
I do take the action.
Yes.
Which is not, you know, and which is not always easy to take the action, right? I mean, sometimes actions are scary. Have you ever had that experience?
No, never.
Look, what I told my tech earlier, this is a sacred space. We don't take BS here.
Oh my God. Right, Larry? That's what we said.
That's what we said. This is sacred space.
No, when you sit in the present,
Yes.
and then you get that divine download of what's the next move to make. The hard part is that I always say it's the ego or whatever you want to call it, floods in with all the data and all the experience and all what happened last time. Remember what that person told you and what was on the news. It floods in so fast that sometimes if you are not in that awareness of how those downloads come in, you might miss it and then have all this other stuff come in and you get really confused because where are you? You're not present now. You're now in the future or you're in the past. You're like spinning around in circles all around that present moment, but you're running around in circles out here. All the stuff starts to come in. So it's like it's
And
really
you're distracted.
totally. So
Absolutely.
try to get back to what was the first answer I had?
Right.
What was the first thing I was told to do? Like that story I told you guys where I got the answer that I had to hug my child who was being
Less than fun.
yes, he was being I can say all the things. I asked you if I were a calm, loving mother, what would I do right now? And my answer was I would hug him. But then I don't even know if it was a hot second. I don't know how fast it came in, but so fast, my mind said, I'm not hugging him. He's being disrespectful. If I hug him, he's going to think it's okay to do that. If I hug him, that came in so fast. Had I not had the awareness around myself to go, no. What was the first answer though? What was the first answer? The first answer was I would hug him. And I remember thinking, then do it fast before I lose before the other stuff gets me. And I did. I lunged and I hugged him really fast. And then I'll tell you, you guys can go back and listen to that story. But that awareness that the download comes in sometimes very quiet and it's such a thing. And then all that flood comes in from your ego. And that's why it's scary. That's why it's hard because you get confused as to what was the original answer there? What's the original move? What's the move I'm supposed to take from this present moment?
And I don't know if you guys remember Reverend Mitch when he was here and he spoke about confusion just being an illusion
Yeah.
on that. Like there is no confusion, right? That's the part that where we're distracting ourselves. We know what to do. You know, we know what the answer is. Everything that ever was is inside you.
Yeah.
You've got the answers in this
You're
present
made of God's
moment.
stuff.
Yes.
You got
Magical
you got
God
all you
stuff.
need.
You got all you need.
Right.
And then you get
know.
distracted because there's like a squirrel over here or
Yeah,
something.
something sparkling
You know,
over
there's
there.
something sparkly over there. So, you know, I forgot as we were praising Reverend Michelle earlier, I'm in another class of hers right now called Rockstar of Your Finances. And one of the things about this here, though, we were talking recently was about upper limits, and how you get thrown off when you have a goal, whatever the goal is, right? Whether it's a financial goal or it's a spiritual goal or an emotional or physical goal, you get thrown off when you're not moving from the present moment. And we're talking about the distractions, right? So upper limits are great on that one, right? Because they'll say, nope, just here. This is where you can go. This is what you got. And that, for me, when I hit that, that's everybody said this. This is how it has always been, And this isn't my first time.
Who are you to think you can do
right?
like this?
Who are you to think? Right?
You're not good enough for that. And if you get there, you're not going to keep it. You can't.
Right.
Oh yeah, all the garbage stuff right there alone, all that stuff.
So
is garbage.
that, like with finances, one of the things that Reverend Michelle was pointing out was like how we could get an influx, and then something happens that causes that influx to be needed. Like, I got a ton of money and now I need a new water heater. I got a ton of money and the car broke down or whatever. Right. Like, something that comes in that says, I need your money. It doesn't just happen with money, right? When you get a spiritual epiphany of, say, patience, and then your child comes in and does something to test it.
Yeah.
Right? There's that level that we get to and we go, oh, I'm here. And then our ceiling says, are you really here? Can you really do this? And that's the breakthrough that we're trying to move from, and where the divine masculine comes in to say, yes, I can move from here, right? I do have the ability to take that action and say to not just ourselves, but to the world that I'm available to be all that I came here to be. Right? What's the point of having this divine expression known as genie if I'm going to try to be somebody else?
Right.
Like that, and I love the story about your hair in that. I didn't know that. Thank you for
It just
sharing
happened
that.
this week.
I
I
didn't-
had that revelation.
that revelation. How many times? And Lyric, I think I have a hand in the back. How many times?
Somebody have a hand?
I thought Peter had.
No,
he was just scratching his hair.
sorry.
Yeah. How many times, like, we look at ourselves and say, like, I don't know about you guys, but the older I get, the more I'm like, who's this lady that showed up in my mirror? Especially because I have these little girl pictures in my bathroom to remind me to be compassionate to myself. And so, like, I look at her and I think, wow, same eyes. Right?
It's a resemblance.
Yeah, there's a resemblance. The eyes never change, right? Do you know your eyes don't create new cells? Do you know that the eyes that you were born with are the same eyes that you have right now? That's amazing.
That's a lot like
Everything else
Yeah.
dies and regenerates itself but your eyes, right? So when you look into somebody's eyes, those are the eyes that have seen everything. Everything from the moment they came to this particular incarnation, and I look in her eyes and I can see all that's happened, and then I see other parts of her face and I go, where'd you come from? How'd you get here? Right? Because in my head I'm 28. I don't know but do you have that? Do you have that eternal age in your head, and when somebody asks you your age, you have to think about it because you forget? Yeah. So
That's funny. I can do that sometimes.
right? So we have to like see ourselves as who we are, not just the physical self, but see that child, that person, and that divine, older, wiser self yet to be, right? That person that knows all you've been through, knows everything you've ever done, and says, boy, you got this going on.
Mhm.
Right? That's who your older, wiser self should be, is that person who is the wiser. That person that says, "Oh man, thanks for taking me there." Right? I know I've said it a few times, but I'm here to give God a good time, right? As me, and I want that to be something that's an action-based situation, not that I just sat on a sofa all day long. You know, I mean, no, a few hours on a Sunday's fine,
Yes,
Yeah.
but we still have to take action.
but we still have to
Do
take
things.
action.
Right.
Exactly.
I do have to say though, when you have money come in and then you have a large bill come in, I've always said to myself, well, good thing that money came in because I can cover that bill now. Thank God that's there. Not-
Well, there's that too.
but I've heard people say like, oh, of course, now I got to pay for whatever. Like, yeah, but if you didn't have the money coming,
Right.
where would you
Yeah,
be
do you
right
see-
now? Like,
you know, that's a
kinda nice
good
it came
point.
before. If the money showed up first. Hey man, I think you're doing something right. If the money came first before the big thing happened, and you had the money to go pay that, or you just finally save up that little emergency fund, and then you need all new tires or whatever. It's like, well, isn't that awesome that you got the money saved up first, and then you need it? Like, how often does it happen the opposite way, where the thing needs to be done, and you're like, oh my gosh, where am I going to get the money from? Like, no, you're starting to turn things in the right order.
At least you have the
I
money
think
first.
awesome, good for
There
you.
you
Yeah,
go.
you want the money first.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So I just have to add that in there because we can't
Because you're a
get
little controversial
we can't
sometimes.
get we can't get trapped in that thinking of
Right.
there we have a
Of course.
of course
The of course it happened. You got us on it?
I'm looking for a correction because I have come to expect that when some money comes in, there will be something to claim it coming forth.
Right.
Because it happens so frequently that when money comes in search of a requirement that I'm going to meet, I come to expect that is coming. So how do I?
Is that a negative thing to you? Does that feel negative that the money would then go back out in? Maybe change if there's I would say that money should flow.
Right, it's
Through
energy.
People, it should flow. Yeah, it could, bless you. And then it could flow back out. Like I was just talking to, I don't know if it was you, but talking to somebody the other day about how important it is for us to create money in our lives where we can give other people jobs instead of like when I don't have enough money, I like to have someone to help me clean my house, right? So that's one of the things I like to do because I don't really want to spend my time doing that. So if I make enough money, then now I can give someone else a job that that is their job, that's their business. They want to come in and do that. I want to do that. I don't want to hoard that or clean my own pool or do my own garden or do my own landscaping, whatever, because I'm hoarding the money and I want to be able to send that back out and give other people their livelihoods or their money out. So I want the money to flow through me like that. I want the money to go back out. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't have some in savings, but I wouldn't want to be hoarding it and not wanting it to have its flow. I want it to flow so more flows to me. And then I'm a good steward of it, flowing it back out. So I don't know if that answers your thinking. So
And I love the question you asked. Is
Yes.
it a negative thing? Because if it feels negative to you, then change that because money's just energy.
Yeah.
It's just the energy flowing there.
we shouldn't want to grab it and hold it like this. We should want it to flow and just be a good steward of it moving. Am I perfect at that? No. But
Oh, I can make it flow.
yeah, but I want it. Yeah. But I try not to get upset if it has to go out. I try to say, yeah, but I have to pay. Look at my power bill went up this summer. Look at oh my gosh, and now I'm paying this much every month. I could go there and be all upset about it, or I could say, thank God that I've got electricity and that I have an air conditioner that works and my house is cool and I'm not hot and I have the money to pay for that, and that gives all these people jobs, and that gives. It could go on and on and on how I want to think about it, or I could be upset.
It doesn't
about
upset me.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, actually, if any reaction, I'm kind of amused.
There you go. I think that's perfect to be like, well, let's see where this goes. Yeah, let's see let's see what I'm gonna do with this. Yeah, I think that's fun. I like that. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong. I don't think there's anything negative about that. I think of money as like a flowing river. It's come to me, and let's see where I direct it. Lyric, would you grab the mic for Peter,
I
please?
know.
It's better.
Well, it's for our online people to hear your beautiful voice, Peter.
Well, cheers, though.
Yeah.
So I have kind of a Michelle, appreciate this, kind of a little bit of a whimsical boss. I just thought about this. So there's a character in Seinfeld, Kramer.
Yes.
I have no clue what that guy does for a living. I have no clue how, he kind of navigates his life, but the guy always has or falls into money.
Yeah.
Doesn't think about it, doesn't care about it, doesn't, and this is just, obviously it's fiction, but just that idea that he just kind of goes through life and it always pops up when he needs it. He always gets some means and a way to be able to do certain things. Wouldn't it be nice to live life like that? to be Kramer.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lesson in this somewhere, and maybe you guys can extrapolate what that is, because I'm not going to.
No, I do think that he's trusting the divine. He just
Right.
trusts
Mhm.
and doesn't worry about it. Just lives his life and knows that he's always guided and blessed and taken care of, and then he is.
And there's action to be done. Right? So,
And he still shows up.
right.
Even
So-
in his crazy way of entering
Right.
the room and all that stuff.
Right.
He still does
So-
his thing.
With Kramer, generally the money comes when he has a need, right? Of what's going to happen. So we're talking about that. So there's, we have our normal needs, right? We need to have shelter, food, clothing. No matter if
We
you
all like this, but
no matter if you don't remember where you got it from.
I know, right?
When those needs are met, and then we have the other things, right, that come up, where the giving, right? So now, since our teacher is in the room here, I'm going to try to remember all of them. So you have the place that you give, you have your play money, you have your, that's pretty much all the stuff I remember. Oh yeah, your educate. How could I forget that one? Because you know what? Because that takes the most of my money.
It does.
It's my education. That's a lot more than 10%. So you have your education. You have okay. So we have necessities, right? Which is half. We've decided, right? Then we have our give.
Yep.
And we have education.
Yep.
We have play.
Yep.
We have saving for long-term spending, right?
No, you got.
For
Say-
long
yeah.
saving for a big event, a big thing to spend. But it's saving to spend,
Yes.
and then we have saving to save.
There you go.
Is that all of them?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. And I love saving for the big expenditure type thing. So I wrote that one down as like, eventually I'd like to have a sofa in my house. It's like right now we're 2 chairs, but they're good chairs. They're comfy chairs,
Yes.
right? And, my whole house is 14 feet wide. So, like how much bigger can you get? Like, this might be too large. So I'm just saying, like there's that anticipation when it comes to it. I don't know how the divine masculine got on money, but there we go. That's how it happens.
Yeah, I
right?
just think we were talking
Swirling around action,
about the action of it. Yeah,
right?
right.
Because I think money's an easy example of action-based energy, right? Is that I give to you, you give to me. There's the exchange
Right.
there. Food's another good action-based energy, right? Because we go shopping for it, we cultivate it, we cook it, we serve it, we receive it, and then there's the digestion and everything. I mean, we're talking about something that absolutely goes through a cycle and all those jobs involved in the process. So,
Yeah,
if money was too much for you, so
Yeah.
food's another one.
It's
you
another
know?
one. I
But,
can go on and on. right?
Again, the masculine energy or the furthering or fathering of going forward in our lives, and then having the feminine energy of receiving it,
And supporting it.
and supporting, and also the comfort in that, right? And having that connected, whether it's a relationship or within yourself. That is something that I think the balance of that, and of course today being Father's Day, we're speaking about the masculine, but I never want to give up the whole balance of what that brings to the world. When in balance, there is such a easy, gentle, assertive, affirmative energy that comes forth.
Right, the true masculine isn't loud and obnoxious and in your face and whatever. It is this calm movement forward.
Yes.
Right, a true masculine. You can think about dominantly, like we usually think of men, but there are women that have the masculine energy a lot too. But just like the different types that you might see, And so when I think of a true masculine, it is a calming presence.
Mm-hmm.
It is a calming movement, a calming, we're going to go here, and it makes me in that energy, it makes me I'm very comfortable, and I feel very safe, right? You feel very safe when you're in true masculine energy. You feel that you could do anything that you like. There's so much that energy does that if I'm going into my feminine, I will receive that, and then I'll send it back out and multiply it, right? Because I feel safe and secure, and I feel what I need to feel in order to be my feminine self, my feminine side.
I love that the safety was the big one that I heard
Right.
within the masculine. So in masculine energy, when I'm around somebody who is displaying that, male or female, that's what I feel is that safety and that comfort. Yeah.
When it's the true energy.
Right.
Somebody
Right.
that's just acting like that, male or female, like
Well,
just act like that, and they're
yeah.
boasting and they're big and whatever. That's not really masculine. That's
Right.
not-
And you can feel the difference in
Right,
people's
you can
energy,
feel
right?
it.
People can say whatever they want. It's their energy that's communicating.
I'm an alpha. I do blah blah blah. It's like, oh yeah, right there. I'm saying you're not. Like right there, I already know by someone that.
Do people still use that word? I mean,
Yeah, I mean there are true alpha males for
Oh.
sure, but somebody that is
I don't
walking
know.
around making sure you know.
I mean, I
that.
watch some.
It's
I watch some of those werewolf stories so that they
Yeah.
talk about this. So I'm just checking, if we have that.
There is. I mean,
There is.
I dealt with men that are in that masculine, that alpha, that true role, that true position, and then I've seen men that are more in the beta, and that's opposite. And if I'm with a man that's sitting in like a beta, I'm going to be the alpha. I'm instinctively naturally going to be in my masculine, which then it's a whole nother relationship. It doesn't. I'm not usually super happy in that. I'm spinning my wheels. I'm working a lot. I'm like, you can just, those of you that know me and know me a long time, my energy can be like that. Or I'm doing all the things. I'm gonna keep myself really busy. I'm doing all the things. I'm managing and that the male. If there's a male,
So
in
you
my
don't
life
feel
at the time,
balanced.
No, I don't feel like I can be feminine. I don't feel relaxed, and I don't feel soft at all. I feel very. I'm gonna get it all done. We have a new song that we like. Well, I'll do it myself. Fine, I'll just do it myself. When I'm with Peter, I don't have that desire to do it by myself. I'm gonna do it with him. I don't want it. I don't have the same feelings like, fine, I'll just do it by myself. I'll just do it myself. Fine. Like, you're not gonna step it up. You're not gonna show up. You're not gonna. Fine, I'll just do it myself because I can't. I could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a hard part for independent women,
Yes.
right?
Agreed.
Is that we had to,
Yes.
at some point step it up and be in that energy. At least we thought we did. So but then again, there it goes to that toxic trait where we don't want to be, even as you're balancing. So as a gay woman, I will say that my femininity and masculinity tend to swirl a little bit more maybe than yours does.
Right, for sure.
however, I found over, I don't know how long we've been doing Art of Feminine Presence, right? 6-7 years at this point. So I started doing that because I felt like I was always in the I got it energy.
And that's why that was
Yeah.
born, right? The women consistently, especially in business or whatever, always sitting in masculine and not really knowing how to get back to that other
To to the
nurture
feminine
that, get
and-
there.
and to be in a position where I had more balance. So for me, bringing in the divine feminine, helped me have divine masculine versus toxic femininity and toxic masculinity, which made me just toxic in general,
Yeah.
right? Like that was just the personality that was, all over the place.
Big and yeah.
Big and all over the place, both in an aggressive type of way and also a bitchy type of way.
Mm.
So neither was balanced at that. So I do feel that swirling of the of both of them has been a little bit easier over the last couple of years because I've worked on the feminine, and in balancing out the feminine, the divine masculine also balanced out.
Nice.
So because I see that as a yin yang situation, where we have both, and in my relationship with a partner whose gender is, born one gender, yet really has more than masculine traits in that, I think that we're able to balance that, more so and have that give and take versus both of us be one or the other or assign something that is, maybe not as, affirmative to either one of us. So yeah, and that's where I would invite people to look at inside themselves. Like, when you're in your feminine, how do you act? Are you?
And you can look it up. I mean, you can look up what's feminine, what's the feminine energy like, what the
You can
masculine
go
energy
down
like. If you
Michelle
don't know
Life
what
.us.
that is, and you can decide where am I sitting most of the time?
Right.
Where am I at most of the time? Because I think it is an interesting conversation, because we both have different types of relationships. I think it's interesting to see how we both decide to handle those energies or how we like to sit in those energies.
That we both have agreed that when we're in toxic masculinity,
like
we're the
that.
same.
Yeah, we are.
Now,
and I
there
like
is
it.
something we had discussed,
Right.
prior. Like, we know what toxic masculinity in us looks like
Right.
because we both experienced that as women trying to be independent and I don't need you.
Right.
And, and that is also a trauma response.
True.
Right? That whole I got this, I don't need you type of thing. That's because when we went out and said, please help, someone said no enough times for us
They
to
didn't
say
help in the
okay.
right- but they didn't help
Or
in-
they didn't help in
really,
the right
yeah.
way. Yeah. So enough times of being told no, I can't. And you know what? And there's nothing wrong with being told no. There's not. But there can be some damage from that when I need help.
Or what you thought should have been a masculine energy or a feminine energy, depending which one that you were turned out to be a very bad relationship or a bad situation. You identify everyone with that person, and that's not the case. That was that
Right.
person. That was that person, and that's how
I have a
relationship showed up. But I might be so totally different with that person.
I have a friend that says, when you have a bad relationship, now you've got this stencil of what a bad relationship person is, right? And then if you haven't healed, you stick that on each and every person to see how, they're going to show up just like this. Yeah.
And it's like,
And
no,
you got to
no,
get
no.
rid of that stencil.
Right.
That's
You
your
have to
word.
let each one have a clean slate, I think. You may, that's a whole nother topic, but
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what are we doing for July? I mean,
I don't even know. We haven't even thought of it. No, but I think I love talking about the masculine and feminine energies. I like doing that with Peter, we talk about it a lot. It goes there a lot. It's just exploring that and trying to understand that and trying to keep that in balance, because we know what feels best for us. And so I think in any relationship that you're in, what feels best for you?
Mhm.
Who's doing what role and what feels best for you, and then learn where that is and then try to keep it there. And if you're by yourself and not in a relationship right now, I think that's the same thing. Where do I feel the best? Where do I feel good? How does that, and then when I move, how am I moving? Not just life in general, it shouldn't just be flopping around. We should be intentional. We should be thinking about these types of things, like, because I know I spent a lot of my life just spinning and yeah, I'm accomplishing a lot. Maybe everybody else thinks, oh, she's getting this done, she got this done, she's got these kids, she's got this. But I think about it, I look back now and I think, oh my God, I'm so tired.
Mm.
I'm exhausted, like over and over and over and over. And it's just like, that's, had I even understood some of this stuff, I may have done some things different. I know I would have done some things differently. I would have showed up differently. I would have demanded different things so that I could sit in a space that was right for me. And instead, because I wasn't having that awareness, I didn't understand that, I kind of reacted to that situation in that toxic masculine way, and I stayed there for a very long time. I stayed there for a very long time. And I got a lot done, and I get a lot done.
There
And
you
that's
go.
fine,
Yeah.
but at risk of what? Or at, I can't change any of that now, but I can feel now that I don't want to move in that way.
Right.
Definitely want to move. If I'm creating a life I love, I'm not going to move like that. So that's all I think the whole topic is to, express it, embrace it, but you got to know what it is.
Mhm.
You got to know how am I naturally showing up? How am I naturally being? What, does that feel good? Does it feel good when I do this or not, or whatever? Does it feel good when that person is like that with me? Whatever that is, like, explore that. Keep that in your mind. Learn about that. It's a real thing. It really happens. Our energy is real.
Our energy
And
is
it's
real.
important, I think, too. If you want to, our whole goal is to help everyone create a life they love. And if you're going to do that, you need to intentionally understand and know yourself and know what that is. What does a life you love look like? What does it feel like? How do you show up in it? How do you live in it? You have to just, be intentional. That's all I know.
That's all you know.
I think so.
What do we got? Anybody?
Any other comments about any of this? It's a lot sometimes.
That is a lot. That was a lot to digest.
I know, even for us up here.
Even for us. Yeah.
I know.
Absolutely.
I think
I
it's a
love it.
very big topic.
It
It's a
is.
very big topic, but
There you
I think
go.
it's a lot of self work with some of that stuff,
Absolutely.
Probably in the most volatile time in history of men and women, it's been challenged to idea of masculinity, femininity, what it means, whose roles, what we're supposed to be doing, what we shouldn't be saying, doing.
I wish you'd say that on the microphone.
I know, but I'm just making
Doesn't wanna record
stuff up.
So basically what Peter said was that it's a very volatile time for masculinity and femininity in the world, and everybody's challenging. And that
Trying to figure that out.
trying to figure that out. And so there's the invitation, right? Is to open yourselves to that expression of the divine, however you define that for yourself
Yeah.
and how that feels in yourself.
And I feel like don't let other people, even what we've talked about, that may not resonate with you.
Right.
And that's totally okay. I may have my own, like we've said from the beginning, sometimes we may not agree, sometimes we,
Mhm.
we may have completely different thoughts. You may feel that way too, but you need to not worry about what other people think about that. You find that for yourself, find that place for yourself. What is that for you? And then if people are kind of showing up and not allowing that to be, not allowing you to be that, that's something to also be aware of.
Right. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
So good.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I think so. I think
All
we're good.
right.
Okay, let's take a deep breath. Exhale, releasing. Oh. Coming into this place, into this moment, recognizing there's only one power, one presence, one life, one spirit. And that spirit is love. That spirit is joy. That spirit is peace. That spirit is having its being in, through, and as each one of us. And each one of us is that love, that joy. We are each that peace. We are each the divine expressing uniquely as each one of us. And from that place of my knowing, I speak my word into the law for this moment, for this time we've had together. Knowing that as we allow ourselves to think, allow ourselves to embrace, allow ourselves to express these masculine energy thoughts, these feminine energy thoughts, as we explore how we show up, if we explore what feels good for us, we allow ourselves to express more of who we are. We allow ourselves to show up authentically from our true selves, expressing more fully into the world, creating a life we love. And that is the word. So I bless it. I call it good. I'm so grateful for it. And I release it and let it go. And together we say, and so it is.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you. You know, Anne's not here to ask the question.
So, well,
How can we
support
support you?
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I love it. I love it. You know, thanks for asking. You can support us through going to Begin Within Ministries, wildapricot.org.
No, we're going to just say
We're going to say .com.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you Google it, you'll find us. And
It's right up there.
we have a website available, and you can make a one-time donation, or you become a spiritual church club partner for $45 a month or $75 for couples. And that allows us to continue our ministry and bring you our wonderful card deck, and you get a mug with our faces, and you get this wonderful little charm of a sofa, and you get to participate in our events for free,
And our
or
classes, too.
our classes, or discount it if someone else presents. So we
You basically get to support our ministry and what we do, help us grow, come be a part of this community that we're trying to create so that everybody can benefit even more. and more.
there is no try, there's do.
There's only do.
There you
That's
go.
right.
As we are creating.
We have
That's
created
right.
already.
We have created.
It's already
here.
here. Look at these wonderful people.
Right,
I love it.
and get wonderful hugs. That's the biggest
We
part.
do have the best hugs in town, just
Yes.
saying.
And
Our
other
people are master huggers.
They are master
They are
huggers.
for sure.
There you go. The other way you can support us is to go online. If you are on our YouTube channel right now, please hit the subscribe link and like us. And if you're on Instagram, same. We
And
appreciate
share it.
and share it. Share it with the
comment.
world.
Yeah, help that algorithm pick us up.
We appreciate all of that. And you can join us on our Facebook group and just tell us what's happening in your life. There's plenty of opportunity to share, find things to talk about. We are here for you.
That's right. So we really appreciate you being here today. Those of you in person, we love that you guys show up for us and that you're here to support us.
Yes.
And those of you online, we love that too. If you're in Arizona, though, stop by sometime and see us. Oh, and it's Jeannie's birthday this month, so
This month.
we are going to be going out to lunch after next service.
Next service,
next
yes.
service. So if
We
you
had
wanna join
planned
us,
on this service, but
it
not-
not to
it
be.
didn't work
It's not
out.
to be. So next Sunday, be here in person so we can all go out to lunch with Reverend Jeannie and celebrate her wonderful birthday.
woo-hoo!
All right.
All
Y'all
right.
have a great, happy Father's Day, those of you who are in that fathering role. And everyone else have a great day too.
Bye.
Bye.
She's so cute. She doesn't want to be in
You
the
can take it in here, do the
thing.
thing.
Oh yeah, the mug.
Thanks for watching. Tune in again next week at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Time. or Monday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.